Hello everyone, Xeno What If here. Here to bring in part 4 of What If Military was in Cross Ange. Link down description of the fanfiction of this What If. Listen here YouTube. I do not own anything and this is not a scam. Bombing raid over Marmaria. Second Island, US, Gulf, AFB. At the US AFB, there are 58 B2 spirits who will be ready to go to Marmaria to bomb that strongest country. B2 pilot 3 less than greater than. LeMay, less than greater than. Then one by one the B2 spirits took off from AFB and headed for Marmaria. Meanwhile at the US carrier group, the F-22A Raptor and A-12 Avenger II is take off from the USS Theodore Roosevelt, CVN-71, USS Dwight D. Eisenhower, CVN-69, USS Carl Vinson, CVN-70, and USS Abraham Lincoln, CVN-72. And during the launch of these two types of aircraft, there were no problems at that time, and all went according to plan. Directus, Republic of Marmaria, Secretary General Office. Currently he was chatting with King of Rosenblum who asked about Arsenal's condition which he did not have time to ask during the meeting. Secretary General of Marmaria, what do you mean you lost contact with our joint forces? King of Rosenblum, less than greater than. Secretary General of Marmaria, there's no way my people who are said to be very disciplined in reporting are not careless at all. You said the ridiculous things. King of Rosenblum, less than greater than. Secretary General of Marmaria, hey, very funny, so, do you think we are safe from those OFN and GEACPS guys? King of Rosenblum, less than greater than. Secretary General of Marmaria, don't worry my friend, those OFN is just a bunch of Norma freedom fighter terrorists, Norma sympathizers and such. In Marmaria airspace, several Raptors and Avenger IIs is doing their job, they ready to strike a enemy supply warehouse and military bases. F-22 Pilot 1 less than greater than. Imagine it was bunch of Raptors and Avenger IIs launching AGM-158 JASM. And the place were destroyed only in single strike, and in everywhere, they doing their jobs until the bomber arrives. 1 hour later, F-22 Pilot 1 less than greater than. And the full squadron left immediately after having fun destroying many stuffs. On other place, several B-2 squadrons that had dispersed started their action, by opening the bomber hatches and then dropping bombs from the sky. B-2 Pilot 8 less than greater than. And the explosion occurs and destroyed the base. B-2 Pilot 12 less than greater than. On other place, Marmarian Northern Army Base. B-2 Pilot 42 less than greater than. It seemed the squadron had made progress in this bombardment and the few Marmarian troops who had rested had to be minced meat from being bombed from above. City of Ilrius, southwest from the capital. B-2 Pilot 31 less than greater than. In this city that was dominated by the forest, where there were warehouses of weapons supplies and others that had to be reduced to ashes because it was destroyed. Torin Lake, Marmarian Dispatch Forces Base. Torin Lake is the largest lake in Marmaria, almost like an ocean, actually it is fresh water. Now the Marmarian Dispatch Forces Base now is bombarded by the USB-2s. B-2 Pilot 28 less than greater than. And then the explosion was destroyed the dispatch forces. B-2 Pilot 21 less than greater than. Meanwhile at Directus, Secretary General Office. Secretary General of Marmaria, what? What are you saying? Marmarian General 2 less than greater than. Secretary General of Marmaria, but who did that? Marmarian General 2 less than greater than. Secretary General of Marmaria, did our radar detect an attacking dragon? Marmarian General 2 less than greater than. Secretary General of Marmaria, nonsense. You must be have improved. Then his bodyguards is entering his office. Bodyguard 2 Secretary General, you must be evacuated. Secretary General of Marmaria, evacuated. Why? Bodyguard 3 there's something bombarded the capital. Secretary General of Marmaria, what? Then he rushed to the curtain and opened it, and he shocked when he see the city of Directus is on fire. Secretary General of Marmaria, what the hell? Who this is all? Bodyguard 7 come on, sir. We have no time, and his bodyguards is escort him safety to his safe place. Meanwhile back at Second Island, U.S., Gulf, AFB. General LeMay and Marshal Lemnitzer looked at the satellite imagery where their plan was going smoothly and without any problems. LeMay, I like how it's going. Lemnitzer, all according to the plan, then we gonna go to phase 2 now, readying the landing forces. Meanwhile at the OFN Joint Fleet, the number of naval ships from the US, China, Australia, Indonesia, New Zealand and the Philippines. Then there are tankers that are modified into troop carriers and LCACs or simply these tankers had been modified as gunboats. Inside the gunboat, 1st Para-Male Squadron with several other members of Para-Male users. Hilda thought that this bombing of Marmaria was a bit excessive, because with the capital as the target of the bombing, it would only create countless innocent casualties. Rosalie, Hilda, are you okay? Hilda, I'm okay, or the OFN really do this. Directus become the target of the bombing, that just create many casualties, not only from Mana users but from Norma too. Chris, but, I eavesdropping the conversation between the US generals where they had insiders inside Marmaria and led Norma safety. Hilda, do you really believe that? Chris, yeah, I believe. Rosalie, that's impossible, the Norma within the Mana society is nearly impossible to be found. Except these people had an ability to detect someone as Norma and someone as Mana users. Chris, talking about the insiders inside Marmaria, I think it's the CIA. Hilda, CIA. Chris, once I heard that, I don't know what is this, CIA, but one of the US cadet tell me that the CIA is an abbreviation of Central Intelligence Agency, it's like a spy agencies. Rosalie, what a good agency. What's Zola going? Hilda, don't know, and think she have changed from charge in 1st Squadron. Chris, then who will lead us if Zola was replaced? Rosalie, I heard General House replace Zola with Salia. Hilda, and what happened to Zola, then? Rosalie, I don't know. Chris, despite that, this is our time to fight back. Rosalie, you're right, the Mana people tranny will be end in this year and the next year, and topple them one by one, and can't wait and torture them under my Para-Male. Hilda, alright, rest well guys, we gonna start this operation on the 0706 hours. And then they go to their respective room inside the gunboat. Hilda is still overshadowed by her joy because there are other nations who want to help their kind. Execute Operation Sledgehammer. OFN Joint Fleet. In the fleet, many ships from several 6 countries, the United States, China, the Philippines, Indonesia, Australia and New Zealand. It consists of from U.S. USS Maine BB-69, USS New Hampshire BB-70, USS Louisiana BB-71 Montana-class battleship. USS Iowa BB-61, USS New Jersey BB-62, USS Missouri BB-63, USS Wisconsin BB-64, USS Illinois BB-65, USS Kentucky BB-66 Iowa-class battleship. USS Theodore Roosevelt CVN-71, USS Abraham Lincoln CVN-72 Nimitz-class aircraft carrier. USS Shoup DDG-86, USS Rafael Peralta DDG-115, USS Thomas Hudner DDG-116, USS Spruance DDG-111 Arleigh Burke-class destroyer. You'll also like Troops Carrier Gunboat from Indonesia. KRI Jawa, KRI Banten, KRI Magalang, KRI Surabaya, Jawa-class aircraft carrier ex-Essex class. KRI Jayawijaya 993, KRI Nabur 994, KRI Waropen 995, KRI Yalimo 996 Jayawijaya class frigate ex-Knox class frigate. From Republic of China. ROX Kunming 172, ROX Hefei 174, ROX Xiamen 154, ROX Nanjing 155 Kunming class destroyer, Luyong 3 class in OTL. In KRI Banten, landing deck. An Indonesian general is stand in center of the carrier, looking ahead, a land they would attack. Banten Crew 3 Pak Harto. Kita Bakal Sampa, Masak Ketalam, Jenderal Nasution akan menyampaikan rencana selanjutnya. Mr. Harto. We will arrive, go inside, General Nasution will convey his next plan. It turned out that the general was Field Marshal Suharto, from whom I had seen the sights. Field Marshal Suharto. Suharto, Ya, saya akan masak sebentar lagi, saya gak akan lama berdiri di sini. Yes, I will enter in a moment, I will not be standing here long. Banten Crew 3 Pak Harto, Benar kita semua ada di dunia lain. Atau ini kuma akal-akalan Jepang atau siasat America. Mr. Harto, is it true that we all in the another world? Or is this just a Japanese trick or an American trick? Suharto, kita belum pasti, tapi nampaknya, semuanya pasti akan jelas apa yang ada di dunia ini, we are not sure, but it seems, everything will be clear what is in this world. Meanwhile at Second Island, U.S. base. Harkin. Contact to Vice Admiral Raburn that's in standby in the near of Marmarian shorelines, request for fighter deployment and naval bombardment. U.S. Officer 3 Roger. Lemnitzer. From now, Operation Sledgehammer is underway. Meanwhile at USS Theodore Roosevelt, CVN-71, bridge deck. Vice Admiral William F. Raburn is seeing the situation. Vice Admiral William F. Raburn, this will be interesting. I've never think that we will be the liberator of this world. TR. Crew 2 Vice Admiral. Message from the HQ. They requested fighters deployment and naval bombardment. Raburn, tell the ships to load the cluster shells, and deploy the fighters. Then the F-18 was launched from the carrier and the F-22 from the carrier. Raburn, all according to the plan, we're now going to execute this plan. Now we in the front of enemy frontline. 3 minutes to dispatch from the carrier. But surprisingly, USS Shoup DDG-86 which was in the forefront was hit by coastal artillery fire. TR. Crew 6 Destroyer Shoup was hit. Raburn, this is it. Take his microphone. This is Vice Admiral Raburn. Battle station. I repeat, battle station. All ships. Get ready to attack. TR. Crew 3 Shoup is only get light damage, but they still be fighting. Raburn, alright, I know, let's kick some ass in here. Meanwhile at Marmarian shores, the coastal artillery fired at the ship formation, but that being said they could only activate 35 out of their 67 coastal artillery defenses and coastal bunkers. Warplanes attacked the beach bunkers and some artillery, but anti-air weaponry fired to shoot down the fighters which they mistook for flying objects. At Marmarian Military HQ. Marmarian General 7 what is that things? Marmarian General 2 there's no way these things exist. They saw several fighter planes attacking the coast which was very heavily guarded, but the enemy's resistance was very heavy. Marmarian Officer 2 General. Message from our troops in the coastal area. They need heavy support. These flying objects is slaughtered them from the skies. Marmarian General 6 if we categorize them, they are not paramales, but, what is this thing? Marmarian Officer 8 damage on defense 50%. Marmarian Officer 3 the troops is really need reinforcement. We gonna send they in reinforcement. Back at the OFN Joint Fleet. ISA's paramales have been issued, and Salia is leading the way. Salia Tereshkova. Salia, attention all squadrons. Our mission is protect the fleet and clearing the beach. Our ally gonna help us if our paramales cannot destroyed Mana field. All, less than greater than. Some of the paramales started firing their guns in the coastal bunkers, and the Marmarians were shocked to see this. Marmarian Soldier 3 are those. Marmarian Soldier 7 I don't know, but. Kaboom! The missile hit them and the bunker was destroyed, then some paramales became assault mode and fired at some of the Marmarian troops who were outside and inside the bunker. Boom! Collision! Boom! Collision! Boom! Collision! The state of the coast at that time had become a battlefield between the paramale and the Marmarian ground forces. Hilda. Less than. Proceed to advance greater than. Several military vehicles of the Marmarian troops were destroyed by paramale Arquebus Hilda Customs assault rifle. Then Glaive Rosalie Custom destroys several enemy APCs with double cannon fire and blows up several of the APCs. Rosalie. Less than greater than. And they see 3 VTOL of the Marmarian troops but they are easily destroyed with one attack from a boomerang from a paramale named Razor. Vivian. Less than. Beach cleared. Greater than. Back at the fleet. U.S. Navy Officer 6 less than. I repeat, Whiskey Unit, begin unloading the armored division greater than. Several LCACs and helicopters had been deployed towards the beach, and then suddenly a large splash of water appeared, which was an explosion from an enemy artillery shell. Back to the Zulu beach. Vivian noticed something from her cockpit screen. Vivian. Oh. Hilda. Less than greater than. Vivian. Use contact. This is Stingray 1 to Theodore Roosevelt. Requesting artillery support. The troop carrier are in danger. TR. Crew 7 hash. Less than greater than. Vivian. The enemy placed a long-range heavy coastal mortars behind the beach zone. There are 5 of them. Back at USS Theodore Roosevelt CVN 71 bridge deck. TR. Crew 5 hash. All battleships had equipped their cannon with cluster shells. They ready for fire. Raburn. Use microphone. All ships, open fire. All battleships fired cluster shells towards the rear of the coastal zone. The noise of the naval cannon can be heard from distance. Dozens of cluster artillery shells were fired towards the behind the coastal area. TR. Crew 1 hash. Cluster shells has been fired. Back at the Marmarians. Marmarian Soldier 2 hash. Enemy ships had firing their cannons. Marmarian General 10 hash. Gather around. Made the big man shield. Then several soldiers raised both their hands up and created a huge mana shield that covered the area of the mortar section. Marmarian General 10 hash. With this, they cannot break and destroyed our position. Then the ship's artillery shells split into many small shells, and then began to fall towards the place. Marmarian General 10 hash. Here they comes. But their guess was wrong. The cluster artillery shells pierced through their mana shield like bullets through glass, and then all of the cluster artillery shells penetrated deep into their mortar area and exploded it, killing them instantly. Vivian. Less than greater than. Hilda. Less than greater than. Salia. Less than greater than. Then some LCACs landed on the Zulu beach, and some tanks and infantry left the LCACs. M1A2 Abrams. M2A2 Bradley. U.S. Marine 6 hash. Forward. Go to the back of the beach. The U.S. Marines advanced forward without any significant resistance from the few Marmarian troops. Marmarian Soldier 3 hash. Kill them. Kill those assaulters. They use their mana shield to protect them. However, the US Marines open fire on them and their gun bullets penetrate their mana shield, killing several of them. Marmarian Soldier 3 hash. What the hell? They can break our mana shield. Marmarian Soldier 9 hash. This is very rare. Those assaulters are Norma. Marmarian Soldier 6 hash. No. They are not Norma. Majority of Norma is females. Not a males. Then the Apache helicopter hovered over them, and then it destroyed the few remaining Marmaria military units from the beach. Boeing AH-64 Apache. Apache Pilot 3 hash. Less than greater than. U.S. Marine 7 hash. To Vice Admiral Raburn. The beach is clear. I repeat. The beach is clear. Back at USS Theodore Roosevelt CVN 71 bridge deck. Raburn. Copy that, soldier. We gonna proceed to secure the beach. Over. Meanwhile at Marmarian Military HQ. Marmarian General 8 hash. The assaulters use what? Marmarian General 7 hash. That no way they use para-males raiders, which they are the Normas. Marmarian Officer 6 hash. Sir, we need to report this. Above the Marmarian Military HQ. A USUCAV X-47B dropped a bomb on the Marmarian military headquarters and killed them all. Northrop Grumman X-47B. Apparently, the US was stalking Marmaria's movements, where they would not leave witnesses because they saw Norma struggling among the OFN troops. Back at the Zulu beach. The OFN joint forces managed to safely land on the beach, and only received injuries. No one was killed, except for those who were hit by long-range mortar fire in the sea towards the beach earlier. U.S. Marine 3 hash. Well, this reminds me the Battle of Iwo Jima back in World War II. Back at Second Island, U.S. base. U.S. Officer 5 hash. The OFN Joint Army has been landed in Marmarian territory safe and sound. Lemnitzer. Excellent work. Harkins. Alright, so we go to there now to support our troops. Lemnitzer. No, we still in here, it's no safe in there, you know many things we need to do in here, remember. LeMay. Well, you can avoid it duty. Harkins. Never mind. Lemnitzer. Well, we gonna continue our advancement of our troops in there. And the invasion still continues with the demonstration that many troops have landed on the beaches of Marmaria, which Marmarian defenses have been destroyed. And this is the end of part 4 of this what if. I hope you guys like it. Don't really leave a comment down below and subscribe to the channel.